gorgeous lights that I just popped back on to give you another spread because I was giggling my head off this morning when Spirit was talking to me about it. And they were literally saying to me, why don't you do like a collective spread that people can actually see how annoyed and how frustrated they actually get with their own selves as well. And it kind of amused me a little bit because we all have those spaces where we kind of get just a little bit over ourselves. And I think also when we're waiting, particularly here at the moment, waiting to kind of find out information, we can actually get really, really annoyed with ourselves as well. So they asked me to kind of do something that was a little bit about collectively what we can actually do, or different aspects that we can actually deal with within ourselves through an actual card spread. So I thought I'd give it a go and see what actually happens. So I'm just going to turn you down. I'm using the Ever Delightful Trust Your Vibes Oracle cards, which a gorgeous friend of mine, Sam, actually gave to me, and I have really mixed feelings about them anyway, so we'll see what actually happens when we actually do the card spread. Now the card spread they've told me is actually called Out of Your Own Way, which I think is absolutely hilarious because I'm always trying to get out of my own way anyway, so I'm sure there's quite a few people that are trying to actually do that as well. So we're going to do a 3-card spread and then just add to it. So I'll just see what they actually come up with as well. So this is kind of new to me, as usual, because Spirit always throw me under the bus anyway. And it'll be interesting to see where it actually develops and what they actually want to talk about as the cards come down anyway. So here goes, we'll see what happens. I'm just going to bear with me as I turn you down, because it's always, on a tripod, it's always a slightly dangerous manoeuvre. So I'll just sort of bring you down to look at the table. Perfect-ish. Without knocking the whole thing over. Right, so I'm going to just shuffle the cards, and as I said, it's a 3-card spread, so it's a little bit about just kind of really allowing Spirit. So we're setting the intention. You always set the intention when you want to do cards, to say, you know, how can I get out of my own way? Okay, so I'm going to take those ones because I've actually flipped out and flipped over, and I'm just going to break it up. And they're saying, okay, so where you're currently in your own way right at the moment, and they actually want 2 cards for that, which is really interesting because I must be in my own way quite a lot. They want what you can do to manifest out of it. Basically, I love that word, manifest out of it. And literally what barriers and blocks that you can actually have, and there's 2 cards that are there as well. So the first cards that are actually up are where you are right now, or collectively where we kind of are right now, because if I made it about myself, then you wouldn't actually get the benefit out of it. But this is about how you can do a spread for yourself anyway. So the first card that we have up about where we're in our own way is Aura Cleanse. Okay, so Aura Cleanse card is really, really simple. It's what are you holding on to? What have you kind of contained in your aura? Now, your auric field is very, very much an accumulator. So it's the energy field that goes around the outside of you, and it extends quite a wee way out, between half a metre to a metre outside of the whole of your body. Basically, when you're standing in a bank and someone comes too close to you, and you're kind of like, oh, they're far too close to me, that person has actually come into your auric field. So it's really, really important for you to kind of have a look at it and go, okay, then if I brush my teeth every day, or I put clean underwear on, whatever, then I should really actually be looking at my auric cleanse. Now, a really good way of cleansing your aura is to kind of treat yourself like you're a banana. Kind of put your hands a little bit in that beautiful kind of namaste kind of in front of you, and stretch upwards, and when they're directly above your head, kind of peel downwards like you would peel down in a banana peel. Kind of step out of it and click your fingers where that energy actually moves away. So it's really, really symbolic when you're actually banana peeling yourself, that you're actually setting the intention that you're actually wanting to cleanse everything out of your aura, and enable you to kind of have the freedom to, you know, detox all that stuff that you've collected, kind of like a sticky sponge, over the whole course of the day as well. We very much forget to cleanse our aura. We might kind of go and have a shower, and we might kind of you know, have a bath or whatever. My brain was going there, but at the end of the day, it's really, really important that you actually go, I'm going to set the intention that I'm actually doing this. And aura cleanse is one of the best ways that you can actually do it. Putting any focus and intention into what you're doing will actually make you feel lighter. So if you kind of banana peeling down, as I say, and just basically saying I'm just stripping down everything that's collected in my aura and moving it away from me so I can think straighter, discard any unwanted behaviours from other people, anything that I've collected along the way. The banana peel is the best way to actually do it as well. Lovely soak in an Epsom salt bath, setting the intention for it to cleanse your body, cleanse your aura. Those are all fantastic ways of actually doing things as well. So there's lots of ways that you've got to actually cleanse your aura. Get your crystals all around you, make up a mandala, put them in a circle, set the intention. You can have some fun with that one as well. So this is where we are right. They recommend what you do right now. Very funny. The other card that they've given is the Walk It Off card. Now, my gorgeous sister actually was talking to me about this the other day. If you've got, rainy weather and you don't feel that you want to go outside or you don't want to get wet or you feel kind of stuck, one, you could rug it up and go out anyway because it's so good for your soul, and because it's not something that we actually do very regularly is to actually rug up and go and walk in the cooler air, which is really refreshing, in the rain, which is equally refreshing. It's actually good for you. What else are you going to do? You've got to come home to a warm house anyway, so at the end of the day it's something really, really good thing to do as well. So splash through the puddles, be really childlike, have some fun with it. If you don't want to do that, there is some amazing, as I said, my sister was telling me, some amazingly beautiful walks on YouTube where you can put a walk on the TV and just walk in front of the TV, walking through some beautiful parks in Baltimore or walking through Hawaii. All those sorts of things you can actually find out. So they're just telling you this is something you can do right away if you've got yourself into a funk like I had this morning. Okay, so this is kind of where I'm at. They're like, right, well, this is what you can do for where you're right at. And I'm like, okay, well, that's really good suggestions as well. This is, again, when we're looking at things of what we can actually do when we're actually going forward or what we can add to ourselves. So they're saying, do an aura cleanse and walk off some of the stuff that you've actually accumulated. Fine, we're accumulating it. Overthinking, overanalyzing, picking up on other people's messages, negativity, whatever, you're accumulating it into yourself. So they're literally telling you to cleanse yourself right now so that you've got a clean slate, and then you can take some steps from here. So these two cards are also about taking steps onwards from here as well. So the first card up they've got is See the Solution. So I love this card as well because basically the pathways that we're on the earth plane, and Spirit is being very, very clear about this. We incarnated at a specific time to be here to experience things at a specific time. We basically have a lot of our own solutions when it comes to the problems that we've actually got. A lot of the times when we're in a funk, and I was talking to them about this morning, is when you're in a funk, you think, oh, I'm so demotivated, I just can't be bothered, so what is the point of actually, finding a solution? But you do have all your solutions. It just keys on you actually taking some baby steps towards actually doing that. So, if you've got, a lot of the time, and like I'll say to my kids as well, if you are bored or you think that you are demotivated, there's only one thing that's actually going to help you get out of that. It is actually provide a solution for yourself as well. And my go-to for my kids is cooking or baking or doing something with their keywords there, doing something. So the solution quite often comes when you're actually doing something. Play a random game, have a floor picnic, do something outside the comfort zone that actually puts you in a lighter mood. I laughed yesterday because I came across a YouTube video that I hadn't listened to for ages, which was Weird Al Yankovic doing some takeoff of Michael Jackson songs. So I just had a really good big giggle because I forgot that they were there and I forgot how funny they were. And at the end of the day, it was taking me outside of the comfort zone, getting me away from where my thoughts were going back to, and it just changed my mood. You have the ability within yourself to see the solution to your own frustration, and they're really, really adamant all of us are able to actually do this at this moment as well. So that is something else that we can actually have a think about as well. Now, that's a beautiful card they've also said as well, is that in these times when we feel that we're really constricted, or we feel that we're really, really stuck, or we're really worried about illness, or all of those sorts of things, then call on your healing guides. Everybody has guides, everybody has angels. The collective is really, really looked after. We are never actually alone here as well, but we don't ask. And it's really, really important to ask. Quite often I'll say, oh, I'm just really feeling really flat at the moment. Can you send me some extra energy, please? Or I'm battling, just really aches and pains at the moment. Could you send me some healing energy, please? There is a huge amount of resources in the cosmos and the universe for us to tap into if we believe we can tap into them. And asking for help and for guidance and for healing is something that you can actively do, and you feel better because you've actually done it. So it's really, really important for you to understand that what you ask for will not be ignored. It's a little bit of taking the time and setting the intention, putting the focus in to be able to actually ask for that as well. And I think that that's actually a really important thing to do, especially in this energy as well, because we all could do with a little bit of healing, and the planet could do with a little bit of healing, and really sort of kind of calming down those other vibes that are pulling up and making everyone suspicious and frustrated or resentful and all those sort of things. Healing can come in for all of those sorts of aspects as well, so I think that's a really cool thing to actually focus on as well. Where you might potentially be holding yourself back. Now, I quite like catalyst cards. People say to me, oh, I don't really like knowing where I might be holding myself back. And I'm like, why not? Because in our subconscious, if you don't know what it is, you can be constantly pulled around by the universe actually trying to illuminate things for you until you actually work it out. And there's something that I noticed yesterday in a conversation again with my sister was, whatever you're kind of hiding from yourself or what you're telling yourself, it will be illuminated through other people as well. And your personal thoughts and viewpoints and judgments of yourself as well, they all get externally reflected and people will show them to you. So if you're turning up thinking that you're not a very kind person, or you're trying to be the best kind person, then you may find that people are not treating you kindly just simply because of that belief structure where you're holding yourself back. So collective consciousness again, and where are you potentially holding, where's the collective consciousness potentially holding itself back? Okay, so there's a back to basics card. So the back to basics card is simply that. When you need to refine things, simplify things, and bring it back to going, this is what I do on a daily basis. This is where I'm looking after myself on a daily basis. This is where I'm being kind to myself on a daily basis as well. You cannot change the events that are happening in the world as much as you would like to. You also can spend an awful lot of time, energy, focusing on those things that you cannot change as well. So they're suggesting that you come back to basics. You're in your own house or your own backyard or your own sphere. There is things that you can do within that which is actually really, really good for you and can give you a little bit of a feel-good factor as well, is that you control over what clothes you wear. You're in control over what you eat. You're in control over how you look after your health. Bring it back to the basics. Bring it back to the simple joys, the simple things, and do that. And do that first, because it's more cathartic and better for you to bring it back to the basics than it is about worrying about everything else that you cannot control, because you'll be noticing in yourself, as soon as your brain goes there, you'll notice that you're getting tireder and tireder. Bring it back to what you can do. Bring it back down to the basics. You're getting in your own way at the moment if you're watching too much media or you're focusing too much on things that you cannot change. So be really, really mindful of where you may be potentially blocking yourself by not just bringing it straight back to the basics of what you can do as well. The other card is do a sound check, do that whole, they're very, very adamant. We're heading into the age of unity, and they are very adamant about making sure that we actually do this check-in and that we are listening to the stuff that's actually good for our soul, or we're checking out what's actually good for us as well. Are you really paying attention to stuff that you want to be paying attention to? Are you getting caught up in hype? Or are you getting caught up in politics, dramatics, and all of those sort of things? Do that check-in and say, is this really good for my own soul? And the go-to they've said as well is just making sure that you kind of listen to what resonates with you and just let the rest of it go as well. Do that sound check, check in with yourself, check in with other people, check in to see what you are actually needing to turn up vibrationally in. Everything has a vibration, music, words, people, everything has a vibration, and it can either irritate the heck out of you or it can lift you up. They're asking you to choose really wisely what you're listening to right at the moment for your own good, because if you're going, all right, well, I'll just be curious and I'll just have a look at that. So basically the sound check card is, my attention's actually drawn to the big ear that's in the background, what we choose to listen to, what we pay attention to, and how much wisdom we actually give to that as well. It's really important right at the moment that we are actually paying attention to what we're hearing, how we're hearing it, and how we're actually responding to that as well. So we have to be really, really mindful, particularly with the position that this is in, because it's actually in that reminder position of where we can be working against ourselves, is that we need to come down to what we actually listen to resonates with us at our actual soul level as well. And that's incredibly important that we actually do this. It's a choice, and because it is a free choice around, it's incredibly important that we do actually listen to what we actually need for ourselves, and it's an individual perspective as well. So we kind of don't need to be stampeding around pointing out what other people need to be doing. It is a personal check-in that we're actually doing to kind of listen to what our own needs are as well. So it's incredibly important. Now, if you're wanting to actually get, you know, a little bit more clarity around something, if you like, well, okay, well, I do listen to myself, so I'm not really too sure why I would be actually given that, then there is a real need to actually, you know, go back to your cards if you want any clarity, because it is focus and intention. So if there's anything that comes up and you just think, oh, I'd just like a little bit more clarity around that, go back to the cards, go back to Spirit and actually say to them, look, can you please give me a little bit more clarity and wisdom and understanding of what I need to actually do to get out of my way a little bit more, if we're focusing maybe like the sound check card as well. So what else would I need to do? Whoop, they're going to give us that, so that's fine. I just, at times when I'm doing this or shuffling the cards and some cards come out, I don't believe that anything is a coincidence. I seriously don't. So it's about actually making sure that you have an awareness that that there's opportunities within cards that ping around all over the place to actually have some extra messages as well. So we have asked what else that we could possibly need to know around getting out of our own ways if we're not listening properly, to do with the sound check and what we're actually paying attention to. Now, the first card that's up is Clear the Path. Okay, so if you want to actually learn to listen to information that you're getting from your soul, from Spirit, from your guides, all those sort of things, the Clear the Path card is actually really, really awesome. It means making sure that you've decluttered enough of the congestion that's in your head. If you're wanting to work with Spirit and you're sitting down and you're actually saying, God, I've got what I'm making for tea on my mind, or I'm thinking about a parent or a relationship, you're not in a space where you're actually going to actually be able to hear them as clearly as what you would actually like. So it's about clearing out or decluttering anything else that you've got in your head, so you have a free way of actually thinking as well. And people quite often ask me how to do this, and I say, look, if you want to learn to listen to Spirit, or listen to where you may be in your own way, peel potatoes or do something where your physical is basically being consumed with a task, and then just let your mind drift as well, and you'll be surprised where your mind actually goes to it as well. So very much it is about clear the path to get out of your own way to actually hear as well. Pay attention to the signs, music, lyrics are just telling me as well. There are all little messages that come through as well. We can do your aha moment and kind of check in and go, actually, I did know that. I was actually just in my own way as well. So that's something that you can utilise to actually do that. Take time for crayons, which actually ties into just what I was actually saying. If you're doing an activity or you're doing something where you're utilising your hands and you're focusing on something else, then you can actually end up getting lots of signs and messages that actually come in through that way as well. Plus there's a lovely playful element with this card as well, is just actually doing something that is, I'm going to say it's a little bit mundane even though it's creative, because it's a simplification process and it enables you to actually simplify and just get back to doing something that actually requires imagination, because imagination is really directly linked to how spirit actually works with us as well. So it's incredibly important that that you actually can take some time to actually be doing something in your own zone, in your own space, occupies your hands and gives you more room to actually connect with spirit as well. That seems to be really important. So great piece of advice from that card as well. Last card for helping you get out of your own way is feed your spirit. I just love some of the cards that they come bringing up with in these last couple of days. When we're doing things that we love, our awareness goes through the roof, our energy gets really lighter. Everything actually falls into place just a little bit better when we're in a happy space as well. So the things that you can do that feeds your spirit and gets you more in tune with yourself is actually taking the time to actually get away from the stuff and come back to actually what resonates with you at a soul level as well. So feeding your spirit, if you think, oh, I used to really love that feeling when I did some baking, or I used to really love that feeling where I just sat and, like for me, watched my fish for 5 minutes, because it's amazing how much time that spirit will come in to talk to me when I'm actually defocusing rather than actually focusing, because we can over-focus on the connection with spirit as well. So really, really mindful to actually feed your spirit. So that's really, really good help for getting out of your own way as well. The other one that I just wanted to get some clarity on is they're saying we had earlier in the position of, what we can do to actually head forward in this and see the solution. I'm like, okay, well, that's great, but I just really want some clarity around that one as well. So I'll go back to them and say, can you please clarify the see the solution? And what we possibly might need to do for that card going forward to actually help us as well. So I'm just going to, as I said, very rarely do they respond to me with just one card. Probably the more complex human being that you are, the probably more that they'll give you a little bit more to actually round things out. If there's a simple solution, then they'll just give you one. It's just the way that it actually works with spirit as well. So I've asked for some clarity around the see the solution card. So we'll see what they actually come to say about that as well. Being really, really mindful at this time. This is about energetically where we're placing ourselves, how we're looking at what we need to do for ourselves. All of these things are really, really important, because stabilising your energy and working within into the harmony within is a really good thing for you to do at this time as well. So the first card up is, oh, I love this, it's really whacking us with messages today, the Be Grateful card. So a really good way of seeing a solution is saying, okay, I'm going to break it down and go, what am I 100% grateful for right now, in the now as well? And that is things like simply being alive, having some space to actually, look at some alternative activities if you're trying to keep the kids busy, looking at some research projects, looking at absolutely anything that kind of a little bit takes you outside of your comfort zone. You think, oh, I've been trying to learn a language, for promising myself I'd learn a language. This is a perfect time to do some research. I loved what my son said this morning. He's got a camera. He said, Mum, I think I'm just going to go on YouTube and learn how to use it for the first time in a long time. So there you go. There's things that you can actually do to see the solution as well. Next one up is meditate. Now, you guys saw me shuffle these cards asking for specifics in terms of what I wanted them to respond to me with. So look, there's a beautiful, beautiful 2-minute meditation that I do where I just close my eyes and I say to Spirit, can you please help me by drawing my attention to something in this room that actually makes me feel incredibly alive or incredibly grateful. So I can close my eyes for 5 minutes, open my eyes, and my attention will be drawn to something in the room that makes me just think, that's really awesome. Like the other day, they drew me to a painting that I painted a couple of years ago, and I remembered why I painted that painting, and I was just so grateful for having that experience as well. So meditate. You do not need to do long meditations. And if you struggle to do meditation by yourself, then just jump online and find a meditation that just is a 2-second meditation that just resonates with you as well. Meditation gets you in touch with the higher part of yourself, that integral part of yourself, and it's one of the best things that you can possibly do. So part of the solution. Next up, we also have not taking it personally. It is not personal what's actually happening at the moment. I've been speaking to so many angry people lately. Anger is a cloaking emotion that actually cloaks us from really, really feeling hurt. Now, when we do feel anger, it's usually because we don't feel understood, or we don't feel heard, or we don't feel like anyone is taking our needs and wants seriously. Because you need to investigate that, because this is not personal right at the moment, and it's really important to not take it personally as well. So part of the solution is going, okay, this isn't ideal, might not be 100% what I want, and I can categorically say that because I have my own business, and I know a lot of other people in businesses that are very, very frustrated with what's going on at the moment. Absolutely, but sometimes you just need to actually go, this is just what it is, and it's temporary, and it's not personal. There are things that you can actually do. So the key is not storing that negative emotion on yourself as well, and knowing that all things always have a beginning and a middle and an end, and that's the way it works. Right. So exercise your vibes. Okay, so this is put on some cool music. My son is blasting music in the background here today, and raise your vibrational frequency. So and get a little bit of a boogie on, because it's one of the best things that you can possibly do as well, is to move your body and start listening to what you actually need to do for yourself as well. And I know it's cold outside, but hey, rug up, go get some fresh air. It's great for the adrenals, and it wakes you up, and it raises your vibrational frequency. We're all about energy. We're energy condensed into matter. Come on and shake your groove thing. Right. It's a team effort, people. So part of the solution is knowing that we are all in this together. And I just finished a blog, and seriously, it's about unity. And I think at the end of the day, it's really about understanding that no matter what people's opinions are or their choices are, it's free choice realm, we're in it together. And it's really important to kind of sometimes do that, reach out and say, hey, I love you for just being on this planet at this time. No matter how complex it is, I admire your courage and your growth and your sheer resilient capacity for incarnating at this time. Bless your heart. Okay, so that's part of the solution, is saying that we're working in this together. Last up, get a new story. Now, if you didn't like the old story, or you're noticing that this time out is actually getting you to actually see whether the things that you do like or you don't like, the entire of your life is a book, Spirit tells me, and it's as interesting and as boring as what you actually really want it to be as well. So start having a look and investigating if what you've got going on in your world as part of the solution card is it truthfully actually what you want for yourself, because you can create things as much as you want to, whenever you want to, all the way through your entire life. And I love this card. I love all the cards that they've actually given out over the last couple of days. And it's a reminder, it is such a reminder. We do have so many things to actually be grateful for. But if you want to create a new chapter, if you want to create a plot twist, go for it. You're only ever held back by yourself, not really circumstances. If you say that you're held back by circumstances, when you're looking at creating where you want to go and what you want to create, you can tell yourself, but your creative mind belongs to you, nobody else. And if you're putting roadblocks in your way, then that's you doing that, nobody else. So under the solution card, yep, certainly start to create what you actually want. We will get past this and we will go on to other things. That universal energy is amazing at the moment in terms of ideas, epiphanies, all those sorts of things. It's just about being consistent enough at times to say, I'm going to create this. So a little bit of a reminder is, you don't like the current story, then change it, start weaving and creating a new one. Now guys, I'll leave that with you, for you, and hopefully some of that resonates for you as well. I know when I started doing this, I was really feeling like I was in my own way, and it certainly is about kind of being in your own way. You're an amazing creative being, incredible. It's time to start creating some of the things that you actually really want to do for yourself as well. Now, interestingly, just asked me to do one more card as a last reminder. Really love it when they get in my head and they're just like rah with me at the moment. So I'll just take one more card, so I'm hoping they'll just give us one more card as well. Oh, they want the last card. I'm just going to take the last card. Be flexible with yourself and other people, because the key is the more flexible we are, the more fluid we become, the more, I don't know, expansive we actually start to be as well. And this is a really big expansion phase into understanding ourselves and working within ourselves and working with other people as well. So don't forget to be as flexible as you possibly can with yourself and with other people in the nicest possible way. We're all about the compassion and the kindness as well. Take care of you, gorgeous lights, and keep shining. See you.